All right, hello. Welcome to my cryptography CS summative, and just like all the other summatives, I'll be just showing you through my code, and then after that I'll be running it, and then I will be then talking about the extensions I added in order to enhance the user experience. So first, just this is like the basic running down. And just a side note, this project was probably the hardest so far, but it was probably the most fun to do. Yeah, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. But yeah, it took me a bit. Anyway, yeah, so that's a quick run through, but now I'm gonna actually run the code. So then, if we run it, yeah. So welcome to Cryptocopter. I'll explain what that means, but then please wait a moment for Cryptocopter to load. This is another extension. I use this all the time, but basically I use thread.sleep with an interrupted exception. I don't know, it gives the user a better feel of like, computer actually thinking, or in this case, Cryptocopter. So what's your name? Daniel Budd, because Daniel Budd's a beast. Please enter the text you want to encrypt. I'll just go really basic for this, like FDFD. It's really basic, but you get the idea. What would you like the value for your Caesar cipher to be? Let's make it 2. And then by what number would you like to group? So initially it was actually, I made it just 2, but then I figured, you know what, I wanted to challenge myself to just see if I can make it to where the user can choose how they want to group it. But then for the assignment's sake, I'll just make it for 2. I'll make it 2 for now. So I'll make it 2. And then a bunch of code will run almost 100 times. And it's basically like a little animation. And it was created by using like ASCII symbols. I'll explain that a little later. But then it says your cryptocopter is now sending your crypt record to your files. Cryptography record has now arrived in your files. And yeah, so this means that it's finally ended, which is why the code stopped. And now if I go to my Finder, and then I go to cryptography record, you can see the cryptocopter, which is pretty sick. And it says your cryptocopter has brought you the following cryptography record: encrypted text HF, 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 HF. Plus an X because, that's an extra value for a pair, for Groupify. And as you can see, that's exactly what I inputted up here. If I can just scroll back up. As you can see, yeah, HF, 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 HF. And then the decrypted is FDFD and then FDFD. Yeah, so it's pretty good. It runs well. Decryption, and then after that, I added a decryption status within this text file. Talking about how I, like the encryption process. So normalize text. This was the basic stuff. Obified chars OB in replacement for all vowels, right? Caesar cipher shift value 2, grouping value 2 by Daniel Budd. And for these 3 final lines of information for the decryption status, I made global variables that would be set to be equal to the inputs within the main method, which is how I got the values to be outputted into the text file. So yeah, it's pretty good. It actually runs pretty nicely. Only problem I just realized is something to do with consistency. It's not a really big issue. Your cryptographer sending your. Hold on, I'll solve this in the video like I did last time. It's a minor issue, but I don't know. It just kind of bothers me. Where is it? Yeah, I'll fix it right now, actually. Cryptography record. Sorry, I just like to make it consistent. Cryptography record to your files. All right, cool. So now you get the idea. The main focus of my extension was a text, using file IO and creating like a actual like file, which is honestly really sick. I had a lot of fun learning how to do this and just making it. But yeah, I'll start like dissecting my code a little bit more. So for starters, I created all these global variables which helped me with the actual like text file itself. You don't have to do this considering that I'm creating everything in the main method. But just for good practice, I decided to, because if you were to make different files within many different methods, then global variables would be useful, I guess. But in this case, it's not. But again, for good practice, I decided to. So thread.sleep was another part of my extension. I use it all the time. You can see it in my other summatives as well. and I decided, why not go with it again? And yeah, Cryptocopter is basically the whole idea of my extension. I don't know. I figured it's fitting, only how like a helicopter takes in the encryption and the decryption, and then it sends it to your file. So the helicopter literally takes in everything you've done here and then flies over, or figuratively speaking, flies over, and then puts in your file. I don't know. It was just a cool concept to take, so I decided to make an animation. As you can see here. So yeah, I basically, where is it? Yeah, I set this into a while loop, for 10 times. Yeah, and I used the ASCII table symbols and all that stuff. It was pretty fun. I had a lot of fun trying to figure this out. So yeah, I guess this is another part of my extension. And then the loop ends because I incremented it to where, up to until it was equal to 10, which is when the loop stops. And then these are all my normal methods. Pretty boring. No one really cares about this stuff. Just, honestly, yeah, it was a little hectic at first, but then I figured it out. But yeah, it's pretty boring. But yeah, the cool stuff is this, like the animation, creating the actual file using the file IO library. And yeah, that's basically it. Again, I'll just run through it one more time. Basically, so waiting for Cryptocopter to load. What's your name? This time I'll go with Oliver Chung. 2 and 2. And the Cryptocopter is currently sending over to our files. So now your Cryptocopter is now sending your cryptography record. Cryptography record has now arrived in your files. Yay, let's check our files. And boom, there you go. By Oliver Chung, blah, blah, blah. Same thing. And let's make sure it's the same as the thing we inputted. FDFD. Yep, there we go. Perfectly translated within the new file created. And yeah, that is my project. It is quite simple, but then it enhances the user experience by quite a bit. And I think it makes it pretty enjoyable for them. So, yeah, anyway, hope you guys enjoy. And yeah, thank you.